Alright, hello, this is my Jafar Villainous Strategy guide. Alright, so Jafar is one of the more difficult ones in my rankings. He's definitely not easy. So, what exactly he does, I'll explain. What exactly his objective is, I'll explain now. Alright, so Jafar's objective is to start your turn with the magic lamp at Sultan's palace and Genie under your control. So this is a lot. This is a very summarized form, so I'll go over exactly what it is right now. Alright, so when you start the game, this is locked. So you have to find the Scarab Pendant, which is an item that unlocks this Cave of Wonders. It also gives you the bonus of drawing until 5 cards in your hand at the end of the turn, but I'll go over that when I get to it. Essentially, you can play this anywhere, and it unlocks the Cave of Wonders. This allows you to get your next step going, which is getting the lamp. We have the magic lamp. It can only be played to the Cave of Wonders. So, when it's also played, you find the Genie and play into the Cave of Wonders. So let's say we played that. This is step 2 of our objective. This grabs the Genie, plays him to our board. Now, step 3 and 4 can be done at the same time. They're not, they don't have to be done after each other. So you can be moving the magic lamp down and then hypnotizing the Genie. So I'll just go over them. So step 3 would be to get the magic lamp all the way to Sultan's palace by way of move actions, like at the Cave of Wonders, or you have an ally that allows you to move it with him. So yeah, so that's step 3, and then step 4 is to hypnotize the Genie. Hypnotize is an effect in your hand that basically you pay the amount of strength that the Genie has in power. So since Genie has 6, you would pay 6 power to play Hypnotize to bring Genie to your side. So once all this is in place, just like this, you win at the start of your turn. So to unpack, that's a lot of stuff to do. First you have to find this card from your entire deck, so this can be a pain to find. Then you have to get this as well, which can also be a pain to find. Then you have to make sure you have enough power to play Hypnotized, because Genie can get boosted with like +2 strength and other stuff. So Genie can have up to 10 strength sometimes. This can be a real pain. Magic Lamp is 4, and then Scarab Pendant is 3. So that can be up to 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 17 power you have to play. So Jafar is very expensive, so you have to make sure that you have a lot of power. But his deck will help with that. Alright, so that's it for his objective. I'm going to go over the board now. So the first location you have is the Sultan's Palace. This is very standard. You have 1 play a card, 1 activate, 1 fate, and then 1 vanquish. This is an important location because you have to fate a lot as Jafar if you want to have a chance, because he's very slow and the other villains can be quicker. Also the activate action is important as well, because the activate action allows you to do some important things when I get to it. Here you gain 1 power, get to fate somebody. You also get to play a card and discard a card or 2. You can discard as many as you want there. So that's the Streets of Agrabah. Try and keep this open if you can, because fating is important, like I said before. Oasis. This is probably your most important location, because you gain 3 power here. Gaining 3 power is very important because, like I said before, your deck is very expensive and you need to make sure that you have enough to pay it off. Also, playing 2 cards is important as well. because sometimes you'll have heroes you have to vanquish with your allies, or certain cards you have to play to find the items that you need. Also, activating is also important. And then lastly, we have the Cave of Wonders. You can discard cards, gain 2 power, move an ally or item, or play a card. So, this board is very standard, I would say. I mean, it's from the main original game, so it'll probably be the most standard board that you'll find from the entire game. So, yeah, I'll go into explaining every card and their and what they do and what they could be used for now. Alright, you get 6 allies, 4 different types. You get Rasool, Kazeem, 3 palace guards, and then Iago. They all have their benefits. Iago is probably the most important though. So, yeah, I'll get to that one first. Iago's card has the activate, which is important. It allows you to move Iago and one unattached item at his location to an adjacent unlocked location. So, this is important for the lamp. Like I said before, you have to move the lamp from Cave of Wonders all the way down to Sultan's Palace. But you only have 1 move action. So, it can take 6 turns because you have to go here, go away, then come back to activate it. Go away, come back, which can be slow. But you have 2 activate actions. You have this one and this one. What that allows you to do is if you have the lamp, you can take the lamp that's at his location, you can activate it, pay 1 power to move them both over 1. And then you can go here, pay another power to move them both over 1. So you can do it again and again and again. And then you can also, if you don't have enough power, you can just go back here if you want to move it down. But then you can't use Iago's power. So you really have a choice there. You could either move it down with the move an ally or item, or you can use Iago most of the time to get it down. So yeah, that's what Iago does. Pretty important. Yeah. Next out of the allies, we have Palace Guards. You have 3 of these, very standard. Pay 1 power, they have 2 strength. Nothing much I can say there. Just use them as bonus strength to vanquish other heroes. That's about it. Next up we have Rasool. The cost to play allies to Rasool's location is reduced by 1 power, so this can be nice, especially because that makes all of these guys free to play. So, yeah, he can be quite nice to save power, but just keep in mind that he's 3 strength for 3 power. So, yeah, if you get Rasool and you intend on playing him, play him somewhere where you're going to be playing a lot of allies, because then you'll save the most. And then next up we have Kazeem. When Kazeem is discarded from your realm, you may choose an item from your discard pile and put it in your hand. This one's quite nice, because when you vanquish, he'll be discarded, and then when he's discarded from your realm, you can choose an item from your discard pile to put it in your hand. So let's say you were looking for a certain card, because you have a card named Scrying, so you can choose to look for an ally or choose to look for an item. So if you chose ally and you're searching for an ally and you discarded the lamp or the Scarab Pendant, discarding Kazeem by a vanquish action, you can get those cards from your discard pile. So, yeah. So if these 2 are in your discard pile, Kazeem would be able to get them back for you when discarded by a vanquish action. So that can be very beneficial. Alright, next up we have items. You get items. So these items can be beneficial to your game depending on your situation. So I'll go over the Scimitar first. When Scimitar is played, attach it to an ally. That ally gains +1 strength. Really quite nice. Just to boost up your allies. Bonus thing is that they're free, so if you have an ally, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, basically what it is. Just boost up your allies. They're free, which is nice. Alright, next up we have Giant's Hourglass. Heroes at this location get -2 strength until the end of your turn. This can be nice because if you have it at the Cave of Wonders and you have the Genie that you want to hypnotize, you could actually activate this to -2 strength so that you don't actually have to pay as much to hypnotize him. Keep in mind, if you activate this, it's at the same turn that you have to hypnotize him, otherwise the -2 goes away. So that can be beneficial to your game. There's 2 of them, so chances are you'll find it over the course of the game. Next up is Snake Staff. Pay 1 power to activate and then put a Hypnotize that is in your discard pile in your hand. This is really helpful if you don't have any more Hypnotizes, like you discarded them to find your other cards. If you play this, you know that you can get it back, so it's fine if you discard it. So yeah, that's a nice card as well. Just make sure you have enough power to activate it if you need to. Next up we have Scarab Pendant. This is the card that you need to unlock the Cave of Wonders. At the end of your turn, draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So once you get this, you're at an advantage over everyone else because you get to draw to 5 cards. Although that does not at all make your game easier, because you still have to be able to do everything you can in the amount of time it takes for your opponent to win. So Scarab Pendant, essential to your game. Just make sure that you remember to drop the 5 cards, because sometimes it's easy to forget. Then the last item is a magic lamp. It can only be played to the Cave of Wonders. When it's played, find Genie and play him to the Cave of Wonders for strength, but you kind of need it because you need to have it at the palace. Yeah, when you play him, you get the Genie out, and then you can hypnotize the Genie as well as move this down at the same time. So, yeah, very simple. Next up we have effects. This is most of your deck. It's a lot of them. I'll go over these first. Scrying. These are what I was talking about earlier. You get 3 of these. Scrying, you choose an item or ally and reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a card of the chosen type. Put that card in your hand, discard the rest. So if you choose to scry for an item, you would be discarding cards off the top of your deck until you find an item, which could be good if you find it right away, or it could be bad because you can be discarding any of these guys or any of the effects that are in your deck. Or you can choose to scry for an ally if you need an ally real quick, so you can find one of these guys. However, you would you'd run the possibility of discarding the magic lamp or the Scarab Pendant, so you gotta be careful of that. But if you have Kazeem, you can get those back if you needed to. So yeah, I usually play Scrying early on to try and just sift through my deck and find the 2 cards that I need, because if I get through my entire deck early on, I might still have enough time to actually reshuffle my deck and then keep going. But yeah, so I try and play these early on if I can. They're always just quite nice to be able to find certain cards that you need. You just gotta make sure you know what you want at that point in time. Next up we have Necessary Sacrifice. You get 3 of these. Discard an ally or item under your control and gain 3 power. This is quite nice, because if you have any of these guys and you don't really want them, you can discard them and gain 3 power. That's only if you absolutely need to. You could also discard a Scimitar. Because they're free, you still profit 3. So it's really nice to have. This is really, I only use it if I absolutely need to. Like if I'm in a crunch for power, I'll usually use it. Otherwise, I honestly sometimes think it's not really worth it to discard an ally or item to gain 3 power, if I have enough power already. A snake am I? Defeat a hero with a strength of 4 or less at Jafar's location. This basically allows you to vanquish from your location, so if you're somewhere that you have no allies and their strength is 4 or less, you can just play this and vanquish. Important to get rid of some 2 people that could be stealing the lamp from you, like Aladdin or Abu. Both of them have the ability to steal your lamp, which you can't win if they have it, so if you're at their location you can vanquish because they're both under 4. Or 4 and under, I should say. So that's a nice card to have if you get your lamp stolen and don't have allies to vanquish them with. Next up we have Sorcerer's Power. You may move a hero to any unlocked location. You may move an ally to any unlocked location. So this is good if you have allies and you don't have a snake am I. What you can do is, well, let's say you have allies like, let's say you have Rasool at the Sultan's palace, and you have Abu, and you're moving the magic lamp down. So Abu, I'll just explain it now. Basically, it allows itself to steal an item, so it'll steal the magic lamp. They obviously would play that and steal the magic lamp, and your ally can't vanquish him to get the lamp back. And let's say you didn't have any snake MIs, so you couldn't do it. So what you could do is Sorcerer's Power. So you may move one of these guys to any location, and then you can move an ally, but you don't have to. It says may. So you may move a hero or you may move an ally. But you have to do one or the other, or you have to do at least one of them. Otherwise you can't do what's on the card. You can't play it and then not do it, because then it would be like basically against the rules to do that. So what you could do is play that and move Abu with the magic lamp to Rasool's location, and then you can vanquish that way. So this is a very important card, just in case if someone, let's say you didn't have a chance to move Abu down yet, and then you already stole the lamp. You may move a hero to any unlocked location. So this can become a very quick way to just move the magic lamp all the way down and then vanquish, and then in one turn the magic lamp is already at the Sultan's palace. That can be a very quick way to get him down, but it also takes a lot of luck, because your opponent may not even play Abu if the lamp is here, or they may not even try to steal it until it's further down. So if you find yourself in the situation where someone stole a magic lamp early on, you can just use that to move them all the way down. So, because when Abu is vanquished, it says return the item to Jafar at the same location. So the item will be returned at that location. So essentially when returned, it just moves from above to below at the same location. It doesn't get replaced all the way back here. It gets replaced at his location. So that's how Sorcerer's power can be very helpful, because paying 2 power for this is a lot better than paying 3 power to move Iago down with activate actions. So just watch for that situation, and if you have Sorcerer's power, do it, because it's a very nice way to win. Hypnotize. Defeat a hero and then move them to the bottom of your board. That hero is under your control and treated as an ally with the same strength. Ignore their ability. The cost to play Hypnotize is equal to the hero's strength. So that's why it has a question mark there. This is what you use to hypnotize the Genie. Yeah. So you would use that and then play it, pay the power of their strength to move them, keep them as your ally. You can hypnotize anyone. You can hypnotize Aladdin, Abu, Raja, Sultan, Jasmine, Carpet. You just gotta keep in mind the strength that they have and how much you're going to be paying to do that. And you also only have 2 of them. So, yeah. It's obviously a necessary card to win. But if you hypnotize Aladdin or Abu when they have the lamp, then they're under your control. They say on the card, the hero is under your control, and it says that the lamp has to be under your control at the palace. So if you have yourself a situation where you have Aladdin who stole the lamp, here you can hypnotize him to bring him down, and that counts as the magic lamp being under your control at this location. So that's a very nice way to win, because if he has it, then you don't even have to vanquish. So it's a very nice way to get the magic lamp to your location. So, or on your side, I should say. So there's a lot that you can do with his deck to manipulate the magic lamp and get it to the end, because towards the end of the game it can be very slow to move it just down one by one. And lastly, you have your 2 sets of conditions. You have manipulation and deception. I'll go over deception first. Very simple. If another player has 2 or more items in their realm, you may play deception. Reveal the top card of that player's fate deck. So you basically, if they have 2 or more items on their board, you can draw and basically fate them on their turn. So that's actually a really good way to set them back. A lot of people that have 2 or more items are Pete. They like to have their items out. Radigan has 1,000,000 items, so if you're playing against Radigan, Deception will almost always be something you can play on him. I can't think of any others right now that have a ton of items, but yeah. So if you're playing against someone that has a lot of items, Deception is a good one to keep. I mean, if you're playing against someone that has no items, like I think there's 1 or 2 that have no items, or have like 1 or just 2, I would just get rid of it, because it would be a waste of space to have if you know that your opponent would have to have both items in their entire deck out to even play this. Lastly, we have manipulation. During their turn, if another player has 3 or more allies in their realm, you may play manipulation. Choose any card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. This is a very important card because, well, during your turn, during their turn, if another player has 3 or more allies, so Scar has 1,000,000 allies out, so we're playing at Scar, that's a good one. Who else does? Let me think. Queen of Hearts has a ton of allies. This can be very nice. You get to choose any card from your discard pile and put it in your hand. So that can be very helpful, because you can choose literally anything that you discarded. So if you need the lamp or the pendant, you can just grab that right away. Not much can go wrong with this. You just got to make sure that your opponents will have 3 more allies out when you have this. Now, if it's the very beginning of the game, to the point where, like, turn 1, I wouldn't even think about this. I just get rid of it, because your discard pile will be so small at the beginning of the game, and your opponents won't even have 3 allies out for at least 2 turns. So, very beginning of the game, get rid of this. Late game, this can be very helpful to getting anything you need. So, keep that in mind. Alright, so for heroes, you get 7 heroes. They are... Here, they all are. So, I'll be going into them now. Alright, so the Genie, he's the first hero in the deck. So, Genie gains +2 strength if Magic Lamp is at his location. So, this can be... when he's played through the lamp, he will definitely be at +2 strength. So, basically, the lamp summons him and puts him right there. And when the lamp is there, he gains +2 strength because of it. Because the lamp can only be played to the Cave of Wonders, and it summons the Genie to the Cave of Wonders. So trying to hypnotize Genie right now, because Genie's at 6 plus the 2 from his ability, you'll need to pay 8 power to hypnotize him. Which is why you should start moving the magic lamp down, so that now he's at his base 6 and not at 8. So as long as the magic lamp's not at his location, I would say to hypnotize him. So he's very basic. When he's hypnotized, he just comes down here and he acts like an ally. So you can pretend that this little hero thing down here turns into an ally. So if you absolutely needed to, you can use this move an ally action to move him over. Anything that, any card that affects an ally, like gives an ally strength or anything, can be applied to him because he is now treated as an ally. So, yeah. Next up is Abu. I kind of went over this one already, but when Abu is played, you may choose any item at his location and attach it to him. Jafar cannot use the item. When Abu is defeated, the item is returned to Jafar at the same location. So, if you have the magic lamp and Abu is played, they would play it to the location with the item. Abu would take it. But in your deck, I kind of went over this already, but in your deck you have the card that allows you to move heroes. So when you move a hero, since Abu has the lamp, you can actually just move it all the way to the end that you need and then vanquish him to get it back. So when Abu takes it, it's not really that big of a deal. Obviously, if he takes it when you have your condition set and you're about to win, and Abu takes it, then it's kind of a big deal. But it's really easy to get around. Abu's so weak that you can just vanquish him with pretty much any hero or any ally that you have. So yeah, you could also hypnotize him if you absolutely needed to. There's a lot of ways to get around it. So yeah. Aladdin does the exact same thing. He's just 4 strength. So Abu and Aladdin are the exact same card, just one's more strong than the other. So now we'll go over what Aladdin does, because it's the same thing. Princess Jasmine, when Jafar draws cards at the end of each turn, he draws 1 less card. So this card counteracts the Scarab Pendant, because the Scarab Pendant allows you to drop to 5. So if you had it, and Jasmine was in play, you'd only be drawing up to 4 like normal, because this draws up to 5, and that draws 1 less card. But if you didn't have the pendant, then it becomes more of an issue, because now you're only drawing to 3, which, as Jafar, can be very detrimental. Next up, we have the Sultan. Palace guards cannot be used to defeat Sultan. It's very simple. He's only 2 strength, so when he's played, out of all the allies you have, you are unable to use. Here's your allies. You're unable to use these guys. These guys can't be used, so you only have a choice of Kazeem, Rasool, and Iago to vanquish him. So, or you can just hypnotize him. So, yeah. You don't have many allies that you can use to defeat him, but if you do have an ally to defeat him, and you need that space open, you can go for it. Otherwise, you can just hypnotize him and you basically turn him into an ally you can use. Next up, we have Carpet. Jafar must defeat Carpet before defeating other heroes. So, if Sultan was here and Carpet was here, let's say he was put here actually. Let's say he lined up an ally to vanquish him. But Carpet's here. Now you can't. So now you have to find a way to vanquish Carpet. You could either try moving him down, or you can try hypnotizing the Carpet, or just playing any other ally in your deck. So let's say you were going to build up enough power to vanquish Carpet. So you use Kazeem to vanquish Carpet, because Carpet is 2, and so is Kazeem. So Carpet and Kazeem go away. Now you can actually, you can now vanquish the Sultan. So Carpet just has to go first. So if Carpet was played and you were trying to hypnotize the Genie, you have to get rid of Carpet before you can try hypnotizing Genie. Next up is Jasmine. When Jafar draws cards at the end of each... Oh. Alright, next up we have Raja. Raja gets +2 strength if Princess Jasmine is in Jafar's realm. So if Raja's there and Jasmine's here, Raja's now at 4 + 2 = 6. So Raja's at 6 strength because Princess Jasmine is here. If she's not, he's just 4. So yeah, that can be quite a pain if you have these two, but you don't have the pendant, because now Princess Jasmine's making you draw to 3 cards, and you also have to have 6 strength to defeat him. So you have to kind of be careful to not let those two both be in your realm at the same time. Alright, for fate items, you have 3. They're all the same. You get Wish. When Wish is played, attach it to a hero. That hero gets +2 strength. So, yeah. Strength for the Wish could be a big pain, especially if you have the Genie, because you have to hypnotize him by paying strength. Now, if your opponents used Wish on you, and they were lucky enough to get Wish 3 times, all on 3 different fate turns, and you were also not doing anything to help it, they could actually end up stacking this. Now, this is very highly unlikely. The chances of this happening are really, really low. Like, I wouldn't even consider it an option at this point, but I'm just saying that Genie can get doubled in strength, which can be a pain, because now you need to save up for 12, and if the lamp, for whatever reason, was still here, Genie would be at 14. So just watch out for the wishes, because if you're trying to hypnotize Genie next turn and your opponents pick up on that, they could end up trying to make him stronger. So you got to make sure that you have more than enough power to hypnotize him. so that if the time arises where Wish gets played, you can hypnotize him still on the same turn. And lastly, for effects, you have 3 different effects, 2 copies of 2 and then 1 single one. So, alright, so the first set of 2 that I have is Crushing Blow. Discard an ally with a strength of 3 or less from Jafar's realm. So, this can be problematic because all of your allies are 3 or less. So what you can actually do is just be careful of Crushing Blow, because Crushing Blow can also reduce what you have. Now, if you have one of the because Crushing Blow can reduce the amount of allies that you have out. If you have a Scimitar on, let's say you had a Scimitar on Rasool, Rasool is 4 strength, he can't get discarded now because of that. So that's something to keep in mind. If you hypnotize heroes, they're treated as allies. So Abu, Carpet, Sultan, and Princess Jasmine are all candidates to get discarded because they are 3, 2, 2, and 2. Now, if you hypnotize Raja, Aladdin, or Genie, Nero Escape does not work on them, or Crushing Blow does not work on them. So, just something to keep in mind there with that. The next set of 2 we have is Nero Escape. Choose and play a hero from Jafar's Fate discard pile. So, if you vanquish someone, if you vanquish any of the heroes, just keep in mind that they could come back with Nero Escape. Ones they normally play are Aladdin or Abu with Nero Escape, so they can try and steal the lamp again, take it away from you. So, just be careful of that. There's 2 of them, so there's a good chance that it could get drawn when you're playing. And then Treachery, Jafar loses up to 2 power. It's not at all that terrible, but it could actually really mess you up, especially if your opponent's going to win, and you had everything ready and you were about to hypnotize a Genie, but then this happens and now you don't have enough. So now you can't hypnotize Genie, and your opponent could win after their next turn. So this can be very this could actually mess you up more than you really think it does. But yeah, so just be careful of that. Make sure you plan for all of those heroes and allies or heroes and fate cards, because the more you know about your fate discard or your fate, the more you know about these cards, the more you're going to be prepared to play as Jafar, because you know exactly what you have in here, you know exactly what they can do. So your knowledge of, okay, these 2 cards got drawn, that means there's these left. So now you know exactly what you can avoid and what you can do. Like if Treachery got discarded, you know there's not another one of these, so you can save power all you want. Let's say both Crushing Blows were discarded at some point from Fate cards, like they never used them because they found other things. You know that you can play all your allies because you know they can't discard them anymore. So you got to keep in mind what you have, and you got to just really make sure that you plan around what there could be versus what there actually is, because playing one step ahead is very important to winning as Jafar. Alright, so as Jafar, my main goal is to, right at the start, my main goal is to just find everything that I need as fast as I can. So, the early portions, or the early turns, are going to be mainly devoted to, searching your deck. So, you have cards that help you with that, like Scrying. So if you're looking for specific allies or specific items like these two, Scrying is the best place or the best thing to use because this allows you to just search only for items. So by doing this, you have a higher chance of just getting through your deck and getting to the cards you need most. Now, a lot of times when you scry for an item, you're going to end up drawing a scimitar because there's 3 of these. But yeah, this is not really that terrible of a card because it boosts your strength only, and it's all for free. So if you scry for an item and you get this, it doesn't really hurt, but at the end of the day, you're still discarding cards that you don't need, and you're just sifting through your deck. So you don't really have to worry about what you're discarding because you have cards that allow you to pick it back up from your discard pile, and you also just gain the ability to, depending on how far you are through your deck, you could always just shuffle it and then restart it once you get to the bottom. So there's a lot that you really could do with it. So my main goal is to basically find these 2 cards. I preferably try to find Scarab Pendant first, but a lot of times, or not really a lot, but you could end up finding the Magic Lamp first. So if you find the Magic Lamp first, keep it in your hand. I know it'll be more of a pain to get back later if you discard it, so I keep it in my hand. Now, if you haven't seen Kazeem yet, like if you haven't discarded Kazeem or played him yet, Kazeem can be very important as well because if you discard the Magic Lamp to continue searching for the Scarab Pendant, Kazeem allows you to get it back. So if you end up discarding the Magic Lamp to keep a space open in your hand to hopefully draw the Scarab Pendant, just know Kazeem is there to help get it back. But if you discard the Magic Lamp and then you end up discarding Kazeem, or you've played him already, or he's in your discard pile already, then you have to go all the way back through your deck to try and find it again. And there's even a chance that this could be all the way at the bottom, so you're going to have to search through 2 whole decks to get to it, which could be way too slow. So try and find this first, because when you find this first, it unlocks the Cave of Wonders, which is a very important piece to your objective. Now you can drop to 5 cards, so now you're searching through your deck even more with every turn you take. So if you haven't found the lamp yet, but you found the Scarab Pendant, with the 5 cards it could actually help you get the Magic Lamp. And then with the Magic Lamp, obviously, you play it to here to gain, or to then put the Genie out. So when you're playing, you have the question, should I focus on moving the Magic Lamp down or moving the Genie, or hypnotizing the Genie? And well, you can do kind of both at the same time, because when you're playing, there's still a chance that someone could fate you and take the Magic Lamp, and you know that there's that card, Sorcerer's Power, that allows you to move them. So you could benefit from that. So assuming your opponent doesn't know that, you have the upper hand, because you know that there's a way that you can exploit their fate. Because if they're like, oh, I can take the Magic Lamp, that's a very good thing. Well, you have this, so they're actually helping you more than they're hurting you, because now all you need is 1 or 2 allies here. So you could try moving them down like this. All the while you can try and start gaining power to hypnotize the Genie. And if you have ample amounts of power, like if you're building up good amounts of power over time and your opponents aren't looking like they're going to win, you could just keep trying to move it down normally. Because like here, if you have enough power, like let's say I just got, here, let's say this. Let's say right here, I paid the only 4 power I had. I could move here, gain 3. Here, hold on. Let's say here I spent the only 4 power I had, and I used it to move it down 1. I can move back here, gain 3 power, so now I have 3 power. I don't have to play anything. I have my turn, they do their thing, I come back, it's my turn. I move again, I don't play anything. I go away. They do their turn, I come back. I get 3 power, now I have 6. With that 6 power, I can hypnotize the genie, assuming they haven't done anything to boost his strength. So now I go back, I move the lamp to Sultan's palace, and I also hypnotize the genie. All in the same turn. Now I'm in my winning condition. My opponent has to fate me now. It's that simple, really. So, you just got to make sure that your opponent isn't making him stronger and that you have options to move him down. You could also use Iago, which is probably what I would recommend because it's a lot faster. Because you have 2 activate actions. So with Iago, you could actually put him in the same location as this. Then every turn you can move him down. So like now I can pay a power to move him. Go here, pay a power to move him. And go here, pay a power to move him. You could do that. All the while you're gaining some strength or some power. And then there's also play a card so you can possibly even hypnotize the genie somewhere in there as well as you're bouncing between a location that has a fate action. So you could be setting back your opponent, moving the lamp down every turn, as well as gaining power to hypnotize the genie. So that's also a good combination. Or, like I've described like 3 times already, you could also just use Sorcerer's power. So maybe the lamp gets taken, Sorcerer's power it all the way over, and then vanquish the hero to return it to me there. All of those are viable options. All of them I use depending on my situation. Like if I don't have Iago, I might just try and move it down normally. And even while I'm moving it down normally, it doesn't even hurt if my opponent takes it because I can just play Sorcerer's Power, move it over, and then vanquish. So if you have the genie hypnotized and you're just trying to move it down, then with your excess power, I would actually start trying to play allies to Sultan's palace, because if they do take it, you can move it over and then you can hopefully vanquish them and then get it back. So there's a lot you can do with it. If you get Scimitar's, play them on your allies. They're free, they give you bonus strength. It's better than just holding onto it or discarding it because they can take up space in your hand that you need for other things. If you have a hero that you don't like if you actually had Abu or Aladdin here with the lamp, you could actually play a Snake MI to just vanquish them. But keep in mind that they have to be where you are. So if you're here and they're here, you can't play it because you're not at their location. Is that something you can do? If you have a few allies that you don't really need, you can play Necessary Sacrifice to gain power. It's not that important. Your items are generally like this one. If you really wanted to, you could actually discard this instead of the ally itself. That's a good option to do, and I'd actually prefer that because it was free, and so is this card. So you're actually getting 3. You're not paying 2 for an ally and then discarding it to gain 3, which really only nets 1. So there's that. If you discarded your Hypnotizes during your Scrying, Snake Staff is a good way to get it back. you have to do is just pay a power to get one back, so you don't have to search your discard pile again. Giant's Hourglass is a really good option. If you get it and Cave of Wonders is unlocked, but you don't have the lamp yet, I would just play it because it's one power to the Cave of Wonders, because when you activate it, it could actually be very helpful for getting the Genie down here, because you don't have to pay as much power. So keep that in mind. And also just know that you have Rasool that reduces allies' costs by 1. So if you play any of these guys to Rasool's location, they're all free, and then Scimitar. So these are actually really good options for necessary sacrifice, because at some points all of these cards can be free. Like, these are always free, but these 3 Palace Guards could also be free under the condition that Rasool is at their location. So yeah, that's basically what I do. Again, try and think ahead, know what you have and what you don't have. So think about what's in your discard pile, and try and get a really good understanding of what's in your deck, so you know exactly what you have left. So you know, okay, I could be getting the lamp soon, or the lamp is not coming. So you got to think about it. Know your know your fate deck, because knowing your fate deck allows you to plan ahead. So yeah, that's basically my Jafar strategy guide. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get to them. Yeah. Join my subreddit. I'll be doing some polls for other villains. The next one's Evil Queen. Yeah. That one should be coming out in about a week. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below. Also, thank you for 100 subscribers. That's a crazy thing that happened over the course of making this video. Thank you all for that. Yeah. Thanks for watching.